Welcome to another edition of gCaptain Live. This is episode 17. I'm your host, gCaptain CEO and founder, John Conrad. Well, in episode 16, we talked about the idiot boater versus the Washington State Ferry. A lot of controversy, well over 100 comments on the site, and it was an incredible turnout. It was also really difficult to get the story right. There were experts from parts of the country saying that it was the boater's fault, experts from Washington saying it was the ferry's fault. It turns out it was both fault, but it was a very difficult, confusing episode, and I think we finally got to the bottom of it. You can check out the last episode. I also want to let you guys know that we are on YouTube. So if you want to see the live video on Facebook, obviously that's the best place. You can comment below and interact during the episode, but if you miss it, you can go to gCaptain.com and then click on the videos up above, or you can go to YouTube. Let me bring it up here, and just type in gCaptain on the top, and make sure that right here, if I scroll in, you hit subscribe, and then if you miss a video, you can always go back. It usually takes us an hour or two to upload the videos to YouTube, but we hope to put it there for you guys. Well, in today's episode, we are talking about satellite messaging at sea, how you can get text messages on your phone. Last episode was pretty in-depth, it was long, and this one I wanted to shorten it out a bit. Well, as you know, it's the holiday season, and we've been doing a lot of gift guides lately. If you haven't checked it out, go to gCaptain and do a search gifts. We have some excellent gear and guides, but one particular item I just received today. It was on a previous year's gift guide, but right now Amazon is having a deal. This thing never goes on sale, and right now it's 10% off at Amazon. So I actually bought one. It was even a little bit cheaper on Black Friday, and I finally got it in. It's a device that lets you send and receive text messages while you're in the middle of the ocean. We're also going to be talking briefly about EPIRBs and PLBs, personal locator beacons, which are smaller versions of EPIRBs. So if you have any comments or questions about EPIRBs, text messaging at sea, any technology, gadgets, things that integrate with the iPhone, leave them now, and I hope I can answer those comments by the end of the episode here. All right, so to jump right into it, what is this device that I have been talking about? And I have it right here. It is the Delorme inReach SE, and I'm going to be unboxing it for you guys here on this episode. Now, this is a small device that connects with the Iridium satellite networks. So there are three major satellite companies that have global coverage, and there are a lot more regional ones. We're not talking high bandwidth VSAT satellites. Those are around the world and very expensive. We're talking about global coverage, typically phones. The one most of you are familiar with, Inmarsat. They got great satellites, rock solid connectivity, but they have some lapses in the polar regions. And another thing is they connect with a shoreside station. So your message, if you're calling a ship, it goes out to the Goonhilly or wherever the closest shore station is, beams up to a satellite, and then back down. If you're talking to a ship, it's got to go up to the satellite, down to the shore station, back up to a satellite, and down to the ship. So then Iridium came out, and Iridium has interconnectivity between satellites. So if you connect from a ship up to the satellite, it beams the message to another satellite and can go down to the ship. It also has complete global coverage, pole to pole, and this is the most rock solid system. It's called Iridium. The third is Globalstar, and Globalstar has some of the cheapest rates if you want to get a phone at sea and be able to talk to loved ones at sea. Globalstar is going to be the cheapest one, but they do not have total coverage. They have some outage at times. You really have to look more at the schedule, where Iridium and Globalstar work 24/7. Now, Iridium has some satellite phones with very neat features, but again, it's very expensive. So Delorme, which is a company owned by Garmin, came out with the inReach SE, and this is a satellite text messenger, plus it also has SOS features. Now, this is the PLB. This is my favorite small PLB device. It's the Acr Rescue Link Plus. So if you ever had to abandon ship, this, just like an EPIRB, will send a message up to the satellite and down to the Coast Guard, or whatever local Coast Guard, through the rescue coordination centers, and let them know you're in trouble. This is a one-way device. You get the antenna out here, and then you turn it on, and you activate it, and it's going to tell the Coast Guard that you are in trouble. It's going to there's a GPS unit up here, and if the GPS isn't accurate, the satellites can triangulate your position and tell the Coast Guard that you are in trouble. But it's a one-way device. It goes up to the satellite, down to the Coast Guard. They cannot talk to you. They don't know the nature of your distress. They don't know what is going on the ship at the time. This Delorme is a two-way device, so it has SOS features. Now, it's not as ruggedly built as this. Some differences. It doesn't have as long-lasting of a battery as this. It's not quite as solidly constructed as this, and it doesn't have to follow the regulations for being constructed as the ACR does. This ACR also connects directly to the RCCs and the Coast Guard, and rock-solid, government-maintained satellites. You know you're going to get rescued with an EPIRB. The inReach connects with geostation. So part of this is when you use this, when you press SOS, it goes down to the GEOS coordination center, but it's a company. It's not a government. So this is still the primary if you're abandoning ship, but this is going to help rescue you as well. But another beauty of this is because of the two-way text messaging, you can start sending details to the Rescue Coordination Center. The GEOS, the private company, will find the local Coast Guard, and because you can text message, you can tell them the nature of your distress and exactly what's wrong. But the nicer feature of that is this one only used in emergencies. This one you can use to text message your loved ones while you're at sea. So let's get right to the unboxing, guys. I don't want to delay this too much. Let's see, bring in the close-up camera. So this is the box, very nicely done, put together, not too large, and has basic information on the service. And as we open up this box, we're going to find the QR code with the registration information. Both these devices, the PLB and this inReach, have to be registered to an individual user. They have to know who they are contacting in an emergency. So we have the actual inReach device that comes in the box, and then in the back of the box we have a smart charger, right there, and a regular micro USB cord. So this is going to use the same type of charger system as most Android phones. And then we have a manual and a little cord to keep it connected to your hand. So that's what comes in the box. these, if you ever forgot them at home, you can use your phone charging cable. It's pretty generic. That's not too important. The manual and the device. So I've already registered this device, so we can go ahead and turn it on. You guys can see what we get here. So I'm going to pass by my phone number so I don't get a million phone calls. All right, so once we power on, you guys can see you have a basic screen here. Let me see if I can get it under the thing. For various features, all right? You have tracking, settings, contacts, weather, and then you have data use and location information. If we click on the location, it is going to give me a GPS readout saying what the, let me bring it up to this one, what your GPS is, your current location, course speed, elevation, and the accuracy of the device. Now, there are two devices, and I did the link. If you click on the top, there's a link to the Amazon page that you get that discount right now, and I can bring that up. This is what you're going to find. This is the Amazon page. Right now it is $239 via Amazon, and you get exactly, this is where I ordered mine from, Amazon.com. But if you go back, there are actually two devices that you can purchase. Now, if you look here, I look up Iridium or satellite messaging units. There's the Spot device right here. I've had this one in the previous. It works solid most of the time, but it's on that GeoStar satellite network, which isn't as good as the Iridium. Does not have as good of coverage. So the yellow one, the one I purchased, and the orange one. The difference between the two is the orange one also has built-in maps. This one doesn't have maps. It'll give you your lat and long, and then you have to transfer that onto a chart. Where the orange one, it has some extra features too. The GPS is a little faster acquiring. I think it has a barometer and a few other navigational features. But that one's really built for guys who are hiking and camping. The boating charts aren't very good. It's going to be very hard for a professional mariner to try to navigate off a tiny chart. So I think for the professional mariner, the yellow one is the one that you particularly want. Now, this also is nice. The Spot connects, the one I showed you previously, which is less expensive, connects right to your phone, and you can text message from your phone. That one does that as well, but you can also text message via the display here, and it's going to be difficult to do. You got to enter each number, but if your phone's not working, you go overboard. You still have text messaging capabilities with the Delorme inReach. Let me unlock this device. So another couple features is the weather. Excellent feature. You can get weather reports at sea. This is good if you're boating. Let me bring these over. All right, the weather, and it's a little extra fee for the marine weather. I will talk about the fees in a second. And then contacts, you can put in your contacts before you go. Check mail, messages, and then tracking. Tracking's a neat feature. So we should talk briefly about the cost of this device. The cost is not only the initial purchase price of $239 right now at the sales price, but you also need to purchase a subscription, which costs $24 for initial activation, then a minimum of $11 a month. If you want unlimited text messages, you have to go up to a higher plan. So bear that in mind. There is a monthly cost with the inReach device, where the EPIRB, once you purchase it and register with NOAA, there's no additional cost in the future until the time when the batteries expire and you have to replace the batteries or replace the unit. So there is a monthly cost, but again, this is a two-way device. This is a one-way device. Features like the weather will count against your monthly data using. But it's not terribly expensive. I think it's less than $50 a month. You get unlimited text, two-way text messaging. You also get, with this, what's a neat feature, it's tracking. So if we go, this is my login page. So this is my actual, from my previous device. I own the previous model of this, and you can see I took my sailboat down from Morro Bay, California, down to Coho, Anchorage here, just north of Santa Barbara and Point Conception, and that shows the actual track. Now you can set it up to automatically notify people of your track, so your family, and it's optional, your wife doesn't have to know where you're from, but it's optional if you want to send an update of your location as you're sailing around the world. You can set the interval and it will continuously update those people where you are exactly. But the amazing feature here is the texting. So when you go and you use this as a text device, you can scroll down and you can see your messages here. Let me bring it to this one. All right, I have one message that was my initial test, and it will notify you. Then you can type a reply. I'll show you the reply real quick. Type reply. So it's going to be hard. Again, you got to scroll through to try to text with this device. So if I just try to type got it, obviously this is a tedious process. You're not going to want to do this very often. But this device comes with the amazing app, the inReach app, which integrates it with your phone. So when you get a message on your inReach device, it's going to send it to your phone, and then you reply on your phone using the app, but with a basic messaging capabilities, which is awesome. A lot better than trying to type it in here. The final feature on here that I want to show you guys is the distress messaging. So let me exit out of here. If we go down to SOS, all right, let me try to bring this right in front of the camera. All right, now if I hit right here and clicked OK, it would send out the emergency. But because I did not hit OK in the 5 seconds, it's not sending out the emergency. That emergency is going to, again, go to the geostation, the private company that Delorme contracts with in Iridium, and then they're going to forward it to the Coast Guard. Now, again, telling you guys, the Coast Guard prefers this. I prefer this just for SOS scenarios. But what else is this good for? Guys, commercial ships are only required to have one EPIRB on board. You have incidents like the El Faro where the crew got split up. Maybe one boat can take the EPIRB. Maybe no one can get to the EPIRB at all. And then if you take the EPIRB, it's going to be hard for that Coast Guard to find the other boats. Sometimes it's better for the EPIRB to float free from the ship, and then the Coast Guard can find the big wreckage, and then from there it can fan out the search and rescue capabilities to look for the individual lifeboats. What does this mean? I bring one of these devices, usually both, on when I go out on a ship. I want this on my life raft, and I keep it when I'm ready to abandon ship. I want my own EPIRB. I don't want to have to rely on the float-free mechanism of the ship's EPIRB in case I got to get it into a lifeboat. Also, during heavy weather operations on a ship, if there's even the remote chance of me going overboard, I'm wearing my life jacket and I'm wearing the EPIRB. But now I got the option of this. Now, one thing the EPIRB does not do is it does not communicate with the ship directly. So usually I have this in one pocket and I have my VHF, waterproof VHF, in the other pocket. If I fell overboard, I could talk with the ship. All right. I still think that's the best chance of getting rescued if you ever fell overboard. But got to tell you guys, this is smaller. This is less bulky than this. And even though it's not up to government standards, I'd feel safer with this. This I can, if the ship has a strong internet connection, again, it might not work in really stormy conditions, but I can set up the ship as my contact. Another thing with this is when you press SOS and you go in emergency, it's going to notify all the people you have pre-programmed in the contacts. So again, it depends on how your ship is set up. But, you know, this is a dual, I like that it's a dual purpose design. Instead of having to bring 6 things when you get onto a ship that's often difficult to do, you could bring just this and it's going to give you multiple features in one. So I'm really excited about it. And that is the Delorme inReach. Now, another thing I want to tell you about, guys, is another service. When you sign up for this, they are going to give you the option to buy medical evacuation insurance and search and rescue insurance. So if you're off the coast of the United States and you need search and rescue, the Coast Guard, unless you're doing something really dumb, is not going to charge you for the rescue. But in other places in the world, they may. Or the government may not have helicopters or ships in the area in order to assure that you are rescued. So that extra insurance, when you sign up for this, is going to pay for those helicopter or other services. But a friend of mine has another company, and he's been a long-time supporter of gCaptain, and I just want to give him a shout out. Ripcord Rescue Travel Insurance. Now this is a little more expensive than the one that comes with Iridium, but because it's more expensive because it's higher quality. These guys really know what they're doing. So anywhere in the world you are, you notify your inReach, and you can put the Ripcord's information in your ePerb as well, so they will be contacted. But the inReach guy, the Ripcord guys really like to be able to talk with you and figure out what resources they need to send with you guys. So you purchase this insurance, and we don't get any money back from Ripcord. This is a service that I really believe in and I really like. And I don't know the prices offhand, but you have to, connect with those guys and find it out. It's a few $100s for their both most basic. But what these guys do, which I love, is they are really customer service oriented. So if you have a medical emergency on board the ship and your company is unwilling to pay, or a lot of times when you get into a problem, say you're coming into a foreign port and you had a heart attack or just had an appendix burst, anything else, the company will usually, depending on how good the company is, but most have evacuation insurance, or the local Coast Guard will get you to shore. But then you are stuck at the very closest hospital, not the best hospital. Ripcord has the founder, Ted Molnar. His wife is a physician. They have physicians on staff. They have agreements with the best hospitals. And they're going to make sure that you're not just at that minimum level that the Coast Guard or your company is going to provide. They're going to get you the best doctors in the best hospital. They also have an additional service, and this is something that I like to tell. So I have the Ripcord, Ted Molnar's number in here. Ted is a former Navy SEAL officer, the founder of Ripcord, so you know that quality's good. But he also has former special operations guys around the world, and for an additional cost, you can have your very own special forces team come to your rescue. So how does this work? If you're in a security incident, like if you were in Egypt during the time, or if there's another 9/11 and you're in New York, or if there's a terrorist attack or you get kidnapped, it doesn't matter. They will actually send guys in with weapons and special forces training to get you out of there. It's an additional course with Ripcord. I don't necessarily think all mariners have it, but if you are taken hostage by pirates and your company, we've solved the Somali pirate problem, but there are copycat pirates. If you were stuck on a ship and you had that extra security, Ripcord would come in with special forces operators and get you out. It's an amazing service. They also do things like you get to a port and you just ran out of medicine. They will get you that medicine. There's a whole long list of amazing features, and I really don't travel anywhere around the world without a satellite communicator and a connection TED at Ripcord, because you never know. And you think your cell phone, just traveling to the ship, you're in a foreign port, you think your cell phone, oh, I can dial 911, I can dial here. Well, what's the first thing to go down in an emergency incident? It's the cell phone network. So a satellite connection to Iridium, and again, Iridium does not rely on the base stations. So we could have a massive computer hacking attack, you're still going to get your message to another Iridium device. It's really, really cheap insurance and really great stuff. The ability to communicate anywhere in an emergency is just another wonderful feature of the inReach device. Now, I do also have an Iridium voice phone. I want to say that. I bought that before I bought this. I think an Iridium phone where you can actually talk is even better than this, but that is even bulkier, and the minutes are extremely expensive, where you can get unlimited minutes for less than $50 a month with the inReach. So that's the unboxing of the inReach SE, a device that I just purchased, and I tell you guys, I like this a lot. It's small, it's compact, it's built well, and it allows you to connect Bluetooth to your phone so you can get messages everywhere. Another caveat, guys, this is a satellite network, so you're not going to be able to get text messages in your cabin inside the ship. You're going to have to go out to do your text messaging, or it's got to have a view of the sky. But another great device. Not a replacement for a PLB, but an addition. All right, that was episode 17 of gCaptain Live. Thank you for joining us, guys. And we hope that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our Facebook, and read gCaptain often. If you have any questions, even after this video is over, please leave a comment in the Facebook area below. All right, have a wonderful day. I'm John Conrad with gCaptain. Take care.